Hey guys, it's Sunil Prasad from The Exchange. This is episode 18. We got Q&A today. What's the topic?
Topic is basically just doing business in the Vancouver area. We got a lot of questions coming in then from local business owners
No, we got a big community in Vancouver.
I think
Vancouver, Canada, not Vancouver, Washington.
and I think with that, there's some weird obstacles and sometimes can be difficult to navigate in the city. I think especially with just some niche issues that occur here that we've talked about before, right?
Yeah, so. But this will help anyone else, even if you're not in the Vancouver area and you're somewhere else. I think this is definitely gonna help.
For sure. All right. The first question is from Maria. I'm a realtor in the Vancouver area, and because of the slowdown in the market, my business has suffered where I am barely getting by and is affecting my relationship with my spouse. What advice can you give me?
Maria, I would be... see how you spend your day. Are you actually, branding yourself, marketing yourself? If not, then I would say, start that, because it seems like you don't have too much in your in your pipeline. I know real estate has definitely slowed down in the local market, in the Vancouver market. Other things you can do is, contact your clients if they want. If they want to upgrade or downsize. Here, another thing I've been telling a couple of realtors is there's a great market right now where somebody bought their home, say 15 years ago, 12 to 15 years ago. They couldn't afford the market they wanted to be in, so they kind of settle for where they have now. They probably bought this house for $250,000, $300,000 back then. That house probably today is worth 1.3, 1.4, right? Approach them and, get the listing on that house, sell it, and get them to move into an area where they always wanted. And if that market is $2 million, you can actually negotiate that down to 1.5. I think it's a perfect time right now to upgrade a home because the higher market has come down. So it's just a matter of being patient and talking to the people. And it's a lot more work today. Realtors, mortgage brokers, insurance agents had it easy for 20 years. The phone was ringing. The market here was just unbelievable. Now it's work. They have to, you just can't sit there and listen to the phone, and have the phone ringing. You need to go out there and pay, pound the payments and get your business in.
Does that have to do with the market? Does that have to do with a saturated workforce in the real estate industry?
No, I think that just the market, the market slowed down. There's a lot of changes that the government put in place that slowed the market down. Mm-hmm. And I agree with some of it. But now it just comes down to how hard you work. Here's the thing: if somebody has built their brand over the last couple of years, say 20 years ago, bus bench advertising or billboard and into Google SEO and then into Facebook and Instagram, those people are doing pretty well because they have a name out there, they have a brand. It's not like real estate hasn't stopped. It's still happening. It's not happening as fast, but it's still happening. So it's just a matter of networking, getting out there, meeting the people, right? If you don't like to do that, then find another way. But this comes down to like really figuring stuff out. And regarding your spouse, I would talk to your spouse, communicate with them, let them know that the industry is slow. It has slowed down, and I need to figure something else out. Pick up side jobs. Uber's coming to town. A lot of realtors have great cars. Right? Drive that until it picks back up. But if you're one of those people that's sitting there and thinking, sending emails or making or not making calls and waiting for calls to come into you, those days are done. You need to get out there and hustle.
Yeah. Do you think there's a stigma around driving an Uber or something like that, where someone who maybe has had an established career and as a realtor or something like that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I got to drive an Uber?
All that shit doesn't matter if you can't pay the bills. Period. Period. If your kids aren't eating, if you can't afford the mortgage or afford the rent, they'll do anything.
Next question we have Mr. Singh. I own a taxi in Vancouver, and with Uber coming, I guess a good segue, with Uber coming, I do not know what to do. Should I sell my taxi and drive Uber or just keep the taxi?
Man, That question's a little too late. I wish he would have sold this about 5 years ago. Right, where we could have got the money for it. I don't think there's a market for cabs. Look, I know it because we financed a lot over the last 10 years. Right, between the last 10 and 5 years, I've seen a lot of companies, cab companies that we financed. But as soon as we heard Uber and Lyft coming over the last 5 years, lenders have stopped financing that type of business, and it's hard to sell. Mr. Singh, if I was you, if I still had that cab, I would hire somebody to just drive the cab, and I would go get my Uber whatever license or permit, and test both out and see what happens.
Do cab drivers own their own cabs? I thought they
Some of them
shared.
do.
Some of them
Some of
depends
them.
on the
What happens? Some of them will own one, and they'll drive 9. They have 24-hour license, right? They'll drive for 8 hours and give somebody else the other 16 hours, or and then weekends. So one cab with like 4 drivers or something. One weekends, one daytime, night, evenings. They'll break it up.
What would you say between the two?
I would go heavy with Uber.
Yeah.
That's just the way. Look, you've seen this in all other markets. They completely destroy the cab market. So it's gonna happen here.
Even in New York?
Well, I'm not sure exactly the numbers,
Yeah.
but I think there's gonna be a big amount where it crushed them.
Mm-hmm.
Even the value of the cabs, I think, have gone down.
Right.
I don't know those numbers, but based on the people that I talk to, I think there's. It definitely has taken a market share.
Okay, moving on. We have Clay. I'm a chef in Vancouver, and my childhood dream is to open up my own restaurant, but the commercial lease prices in downtown Vancouver are very expensive. Should I take the chance and open my restaurant in downtown, or go to the suburbs where the lease is cheaper, but my clientele is not there? Clay.
Clay, I would look at the type of food that you're making, and is that for what market? Is it for the high-end market in Vancouver, or is it for the average families that you can do it in the suburb? I would look at that. Real estate is a big part, especially in the food world, where the profit margin is 3 to 5%. So you got to really watch the real estate costs. That's a hard one there, Clay. For me, I would actually test. I would go out to the suburbs. I would test. I would go out there. I would cheaper lease and start out there, build a clientele out there, and eventually what happens is you can move back into the city while that one's doing well, and open another one in the city. But I think commercial prices on lease will start coming down in the city probably in the next little while. And this is just my opinion, but I think when you have so many vacancies, retail vacancies as we see on Robson Street, I think it gets to a point where commercial landlords will start dropping prices to get people in, right? And then you can just see a restaurant that's going under, not because of poor location, but because of poor management, and try to get that at a cheaper rate, and then you have everything built in there. Right, all the kitchen stuff is already built in there. But yeah, I would go with affordability, because there's no point in coming into Vancouver where you really can't afford it and run something. It's just it's a disaster. But here's another thing: like, why not team up with somebody? Yeah. Team up with somebody that has the backing, and they can afford it, and they take 51, you take 49, whatever it is, and go that way, or get a group of buddies and go in that way. Mm-hmm. There's many ways of doing it.
You can do creative, they can do business, kind of a thing.
You can,
whatever.
But I'm more of a fan of somebody starting a restaurant, and then having your special sauce or your special bread or your meat, whatever it is, and now you become a product company. Beyond Meats, like, that thing is a powerhouse, right? Selling your here's the restaurant, perfect. Okay, out of that restaurant, what do people love? They love this sauce. Okay, good. How do I package that? How do I market that and start another company out of that? Right. And I think that's how most restaurant companies scale. Not restaurant companies, but the owners of the restaurant will scale their business.
Right.
Is getting into the product side.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Moving on. From Rennie. I work as a general manager for a company in Vancouver, and my boss would like to retire and sell his company. I've been managing the day-to-day operations for 5 years, and I know this business very well. I also deal with our clients, which are government contracts, directly and have the respect of all the workers. I'm the best person to buy this business, and my boss would love to sell me the business. My problem is I do not have the money to buy the company. I've tried getting a loan and either got turned down or the interest rate is so high that the business will not be able to pay the loan. Any outside-of-the-box ideas?
Rennie, I would say there's two things here. Rennie, if you have real estate, I would use real estate as your security. Let's just say you have a house and there's some collateral there. I would go and go to the bank and approach the bank, say, hey, look, you know, I got equity in the home. Could you take security against the house? I need some money to purchase a building. That's what I will do. And second is a thing called vendor take-back. Vendor take-back means the current owner of your company is actually gives you a loan for that company, right? Say, I want to buy this company for X amount of dollars. Okay, great. I'm gonna, I'll give you, this much as a down payment, and I'll make you, I'll do the payments plus interest, and eventually I'll own the company in the next 5, 10, 15 years, whatever that is. Those are the two ways I'll go if you don't have the cash right now. Vendor take back is a great thing, and if your boss does not need the money, it's probably a great way of getting it. At the same time, they can retire and they're still making interest on their money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are the two best ones I can give you, Rennie.
Next question is from Dave. I own my business in the Vancouver area. Would rather not state the type of business or location. My business has been for sale the past few years. I have had people interested, but financing was a problem for them. The problem is my business is in a dying industry locally. I own the property, a few acres. We own all the equipment and product. The company has no debt either. What can I do, Dave?
Dave, this one's interesting. If it's a dying industry, and you own the property, why don't you just get rid of the inventory and also the machinery, sell that off separately, and now you have land which you can sell as well. I would split that. If they're just trying to sell that business with the land and it's not selling,
sell the business side of it.
Yeah, or forget sell the business, like write the business off, right? It seems like they made money off of it already. Kill the business, close the shop, whatever inventory there is left, sell the inventory at a discount, whatever machinery that they have, find your competitors, sell the machine to them or to whoever can use it, and now you have bare land or land with the building. Now you're open to so much more buyers, right? You're not specifically looking within that industry. Now you're looking at, okay, I got real estate.
Yeah.
I got real estate with a building. Who can come in here? A yoga studio, a restaurant, a mortgage company, manufacturer, food manufacturer, anything. Anyone can come in there. But if it's specifically, built for one thing, then not selling, I would break it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's all I got for you. I was going to say if there's any other comments you want to have on the Vancouver business scene.
Comments of Vancouver. Look, Vancouver business, it's the same as everywhere around the world. I think, San Francisco has the same problem with the restaurants and the cost of real estate there. So, that works over there. Uber, you just got to, test out other markets. Mr. Singh, I would contact an Uber driver, a cab company in like a place like San Francisco, in a place like Seattle, in a place like Toronto, and how has that affected them, and see what happens. They're the best judge, right? Because they went through this. Here's another one for me: the truck drivers. That whole industry is going to be dying down with all these self-driving trucks that's coming. It's coming. The technology's there. Sensors already there. It's just a matter of government passing it, right? And then doing some tests, and I think that's just going to be out there.
You think in our lifetime?
Oh, for sure in our lifetime, man. I would be surprised if I don't see that in the next 5 to 7 years with Amazon, with Walmart in the States. Not here in the States. Obviously, Canada's always takes much longer, but I can definitely see that. Like Amazon, like the whole thing is built for it.
Yeah.
Right? They got the money to purchase these things, and get it going. And probably not for long hauls, but who knows? But definitely short hauls from here to there, like from the shipping yard over to the warehouse, which is like 3 miles away or 2 miles away or 2 kilometers away. There's a lot of this stuff. And like if I was a truck driver that has a decent sized company, I would be looking at, okay, should we be buying another 10 trucks for the next 20 years, or should we be really fixing the ones that we have right now, because we know self-driving trucks will be coming soon, and could we purchase those? Like I won't go into big get into big debt. And then also, if somebody is young and wants to get into truck driving, I would honestly, I'll find something else. That industry can go like this, a snap of a finger, right? Just because Tesla comes out with something, GM will come out with something, whoever, Sterling, if they're around, whatever truck companies there are, Mack, and just change the whole game. Why do you need a person behind the wheel if you really don't need it? If there's computers and sensors and everything there in place. So yeah, look at those industries. What was the first question that we had?
The realtor, because of the slowdown in the market.
Yeah, like if you're not marketing, if you're not branding yourself from day one, I look at business like this. If I take my foot off the gas in a car, it's gonna slow down. Same thing with marketing. If I take my foot off, nothing's gonna happen. If I don't make calls today, I'm not eating tomorrow. If I don't run ads today, I'm not eating tomorrow. I get that always has to be down, right? I'll probably take it off a little bit on the weekend, but it's Monday to Friday is back down. Same thing in real estate, and more today, especially when the market has slowed down. Now it just comes down to educating people. Like,
right.
Look, you got tons of equity in this property. We can get you something better that's up here, that's coming down, versus you in this area where market is really not doing anything. We can probably sell this for the same amount as it was worth last year and buy something that's on a higher end market that has come down 20-30%. I got a loan that came in last week. The house is listed for 3.7. Somebody offered 3.4. Can't get 3.4. The listing he's got listed now, and offers are coming in at 2.8. Like, that's great for the ones that can sell their place and buy something that's at one time was worth 3.7 on paper and get it for 2.8. And that's a great deal.
I think that's a good place to end it.
All right, guys. Till next time.